Welcome back, dear viewers, and you're still watching The Breakfast Show on Now TV International. And as we said earlier, that we're going to be talking about discovery in the governorate of El Bahnasa El Minya, a recent discovery in the tourism sector, which is a very important sector actually in the economic, regarding the economic boosting the economy in Egypt. And to know more about this very important discovery, we're very delighted to have with us Mr. Faris Hosni, Secretary General of the Egyptian Tourism Syndicate. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. Can you hear me well?
First of all, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to for this big discovery in Bahnasa and Minya. It's wonderful for Egypt.
Yes, sure, sir. But would you please elaborate on the nature of this discovery? Because when I know it's tongues and nails, piece parts, and golden tongues and golden covers, I think it's a little bit brand new for us. Would you please, we'd like to know more about the discovery or the details about the discovery.
I think in this circle discovery in the Croatian area in Bahnasa and Minya government, it is new discover. It was discovered today, yesterday, and the rest in the land of against Egypt has not yet revealed all the security. It is a large discovery that contains many mummies and many areas. For well as discovery of the Bahnasa, charge of our discovered temple, as well as the discovery of large mummy. And I think this is in all, it's wonderful discovery for Egypt, and the new discovery and big discovery in Egypt, okay, for Bahnasa. And Bahnasa is first time for this new discovery.
So actually, during the past period, the last couple of months, we have seen a lot of discoveries being discovered actually in the archaeological sites. So what, in your opinion, is the impact of these discoveries on the tourism sector?
This factor in discovery consists of more for the mummies and more for numbers of temples. And the new discovered for Church of Basilica in Minya, and the organizer for Amulet of large and amazing discovery. This is all serving in the interest of Egypt tourism and credits Egypt its blessing present for the future. And it's more discovery in the Bahnasa. And I think the Minister of Tourism told yesterday about the new discovery in Bahnasa, and this first time in the Bahnasa about more temple and more mummies and more count for some things like that in Egypt.
Sir, the discovery is the fruitful result of cooperation between Egypt and Spain, because the joint Egyptian-Spanish archaeological mission from University of Barcelona were behind the discovery. How do you see the importance of this cooperation between Egypt and other countries to continue with more discoveries, as we do have a lot to discover all over Egypt, and particularly, of course, in our upper Egypt area?
I think this is not the first time between cooperation between Egypt and Spain for new discovery. I think the new discovery between Egypt and Spain and discovering, I think, in Giza before this time, and I think in Suhad last time, but this is, I think, it's first time cooperation between the Egypt and Spain in Bahnasa, in Minya. This first time. But I think this cooperation between two countries, Egypt and Spain, it's more, I think, before this time, more discovered in Giza and Suhad and Luxor. I think in near time, inshallah, we have more cooperation between some countries, the same as Spain and Italy and the French, the same like this. But Spain is a wonderful discovered between us, Egypt, and Spain.
Okay, so talking actually about this discovery, what led the archaeologists actually look for it, or what was the process of looking for this discovery?
We're looking for this discovery for the future in Egypt. I think the Egypt land is more secret for the future. And this discovery is the plan for that thread. It's wonderful because it's new from this discovery. Okay? And we have more something like that in Bahnasa, but it's not discovered before.
Sir, yeah, and to continue to what you have just said regarding Elminia really is filled with monuments. Some were discovered and some are still waiting to be discovered. How do you see the discoveries in Tun al-Jabal, now in Bahnasa, and as you've kindly mentioned, we're going to continue with working more and more, and this to change the tourism map in Egypt, and not to focus on Edfu, Luxor, Aswan, but to move to other parts of our South Egypt governorates or provinces?
I think for cooperation with more countries in Egypt and more like Spain and Italy and French, we can more discover in south of Egypt, Bahnasa, and Armenia, Luxor, Sohag. Because this land it is not until now appreciated for all secret about the things under the land. But this area it's wonderful in discovering the future between Egypt and any country can come to Egypt for new discovery.
So as you mentioned, we have discovery missions constantly working on new discoveries and discovering new archaeological sites and details as well. So how do you think is this important to tourism?
This discovery is very important for the plan for new tourism in Egypt. We can put it in the plan in the tourism and we plan for Bahnasa and Armenia and Luxor, Aswan, the thing like this. With this area, it's wonderful new discovery. And more people who can discover this from, for discovering I think it's big discovery in Bahnasa and more in the news, international news. Take this news for Egypt yesterday. And you discover in Bahnasa, and I think in the television of French and Spain and Italy talk about this discovery yesterday.
Yes, sir, and it's not important only for the tourism sector, but for our historians. As far as we know about this discovery, that it's adding to our info, our data regarding the funerary procedures which took place in this area, in this historic area, the Ptolemaic area of Egypt. What was added to our knowledge regarding this?
This area is very important for Egypt regarding discovering the future. Okay, and you can put this area in the plan for international tourism between Egypt and between any country to come here. Okay, I said it's very important to discover in the Bahnasa. Because this first time we see this discovered between Egypt and Spain for new discovery. Because the last discovery between Egypt and Spain in Giza. Not the same this size, because this discovery in Bahnasa is bigger, and I think we have more temple and we have more something like that under the land of Bahnasa and Armenia and South Egypt.
Mr. Faris Hosni, Secretary General of the Egyptian Tourism Syndicate, thank you so much for having the time to talk to us about this discovery. And by this we come to the end of our edition of The Breakfast Show, but do stay tuned for another edition coming to you tomorrow on Nile TV International.
Many thanks for watching. You were in the company of my dear colleague and friend Miran Al-Ghazawi and myself, Nermina Abdurrahman. I enjoyed my time.
Thank you, Nermeen, so much.
And as she said, tomorrow is another episode and another crew. Stay tuned only on Nile TV International, always for more. Thanks for watching.